everyone. Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. I'm Joe.
And I'm Serena.
And we are back for part 2 with Brayden and Christina. Hi, guys. Long time no see.
Hey, what's good?
So, before we jump off of all this wedding chat, what does Blakely think of all of this?
Yeah, I want to hear about the night of the wedding. Like what?
It's a little inappropriate, but okay.
No.
You dirty dog.
That's not what I mean. I'm like, did you? I know you said, Christina. I know you said you went to work, but did you guys like go to dinner right after, get something to eat, like have a drink, like a celebratory drink or anything?
No.
All right. Okay. All right.
I mean, we're both not drinking right now. I mean, that's
damn. I thought our courthouse wedding was like it's the most casual wedding I've ever heard of, at least until today. Brayden and Christina, you have us beat.
We had
pancakes after at least.
Aww, that's
I mean,
sweet.
well, we would have done something, but the only issue was it was like, she had work after, and so it was like, we couldn't really go and do anything. We wanted that date.
Which
all
my
right,
work.
this is gonna sound crazy, but like, why not take off of work the day of your wedding?
Because we kind of just like we had been talking for I guess it'd been like probably 2 weeks tops of when you realized like, hey, that's 12/12/24. We were like, oh, maybe we can just go to the courthouse and like a cool date. What's a cool date coming up? Looks, and he's like, oh, 12/12/24. I'm like, oh, that is a cool date, and it's like in the week, so it's like not that complicated. Like, yeah, let's do that. And then like as days were going on, it was like the day before, like, so are we getting married tomorrow? Like, so we had it like, but we didn't plan it. It was in our heads, like, but nothing had been done.
Gotcha.
And so,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little different from ours because it was still like COVID was gone, but you still had to wear like masks in the
government
courthouse
facilities.
and you had to pick a date. So we actually knew our date.
Yeah, because they could only
prior.
have like so many people. You were only allowed to bring like one person. Like they were still following certain COVID restrictions. So we did our marriage certificate or license or whatever it is online, and then our date was 2 weeks later. So like we literally decided to do it, got our is it the license or the certificate?
Whatever.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Certificate.
We got it online, and then we were like, hey, what's the next soonest date? And it was like October 27th. So that we knew leading up to it. But we kind of had the same feeling, like the morning we woke up, we're like, whoa, I guess we're getting married today.
Which, I mean, I guess if you throw a whole big event too, it's the same kind of feeling waking up that day, I'm sure. Like, oh, wait, what? How is this?
Like, today's the day.
Today's the day.
And also, like, I mean, with that, like, when we were planning ahead, we looked online, we did the research ahead of time, and it was everything we saw. It said, oh, you just come in and you don't have to schedule an appointment. You sit down, you bring XYZ, sit down at the table, and they'll get you your certificate made out, right? And so as far as that, it was just literally you just walk in. And so we walked in and 12/12/24, we had that date set in our head, and we're like, we're gonna do it all in one day. And so we did it.
We also kind of thought when we were looking up that we could get married at the courthouse, like, and they would have someone there, like a judge or something, but ours didn't provide that, so we had to go somewhere else. And then day of, like I said, I was an event planner, so I know a lot of venues and like have friends that own some of them. I'm like, should I reach out to them? But then someone would know, and I feel bad like not telling our families, but having someone know. And so we just went with the gazebo on the side of the road. But it was so we knew that it was going to be happening that day, but we didn't really like if it didn't happen that day, I wouldn't have been surprised.
I would have been surprised because in my head, I knew it was happening.
Okay, well then I wanted to, I was like, probably the day before you're like, so are we doing it? I'm like, do you still want to marry me? Like, oh my God, like I'm blushing. Like, you really want to marry? And then actually it was really cool. So on the way back after we got the marriage certificate, like, or maybe there, we were like, okay, so what are the talks that we need to have? Because we've had, so many talks, but we're like, okay, what are really like, the things that we need to talk about. One that sticks out to me, which I'm just going there because why not? It was like, we both kind of have been wanting to pursue acting. It's like, okay, are we allowed to like kiss if we get a role? It's like kissing, like all the things that we need to talk about. What do we need to talk about? What's your credit score?
That's where you guys jump to.
Yeah. And well,
it was weird.
It was like what are all the things like just blurting out? It reminded me of the scene in what was it in New Girls where Jessica and Jake had been blurting out a few different things. I don't know what it was before.
Oh yeah, they were talking about. He's like, oh, they were talking about like It's an amazing scene.
It wasn't. We'll do the sound on our Instagram.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah,
it's
do it because we've watched the whole show.
I actually
so.
want to
Oh my
go
God.
back. We actually were talking about going back and rewatching.
Yeah, it
Ego
would be my
recently.
third time watching it, but I'm obsessed.
I
with
just
mine.
did, and it was right before I turned 29. So then I was like 29.
Oh
They-
yeah,
it was right near the beginning. I was like, just in time. That made me feel better.
just in time.
But anyway,
Um,
did that answer the
what-
question?
No, you did answer the question. And back to my question: what does Blakely think of everything?
She loves him. I mean, and he loves her. It's so awesome to watch. And just that's kind of what went to mind whenever I was watching the video and what I was referring to when I said like we've had so much happen this year. And to see him like step into dad mode has just been incredible, including like the cheesy dad jokes are all accustomed to like now you get it. Like and I don't know, like even just he got her into piano, he got her into soccer, like she's doing these team sports now, she's on basketball, and like I don't know, like she hadn't done these things before, and we've
I mean,
got
she
like
did
this.
gymnastics. Christina was definitely taking her to gymnastics and stuff, and it was just like, I mean,
I think as a one-woman show, it was kind of hard to do all
Yeah.
these things
Yeah.
and really kind of put the foot down of this is bedtime. This is when homework happens. This is, and to have like a partner, because I didn't really experience that as a child or at any point in my life, like having a partner to parent with. Like I hadn't experienced it at all. Like I'd watched movies before and it's not real to me. And so to like see it happening, I'm like, wait, wow, like that's incredible. Oh, we can like both go to the grocery store together. Like we can do like like it's a parent like having a partner in like for life. And it's like, wow, like that's so cool. Why doesn't everyone do this?
That's amazing.
and it's been awesome. I mean, it was it was cool to get married and have Blakely be there and like because I mean me and Blakely have had a lot of conversations and about different stuff and
Yeah,
you
they've
know
had their differences.
she's had moments where she's also asked, she's like, you know, how do I know that you're not just gonna leave me? Like those have been conversations that she's had with me and I'm like Blakely, like I'm not, like that's not what I'm doing. I'm here. And it was like, and as a kid, like I can imagine how scary it would be. I mean, I never had a step parent, but I'm sure the part of it is being scared that like, you know, that person is coming into your life and you know, they may just
Could
leave.
leave. Yeah.
And it's like, you know, they're not sure, you're not sure if they're going to be, you know, if, you know, mom's boyfriend or, you know what I mean, is going to be, you know, actually staying in your life, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, being able to have that, like, have that seal on it where it's like, hey, like, no, I'm in it now. Like, and it's like, and I mean, I'm not saying it's like changed our relationship because our relationship was like really good before, but it's,
I can
if
feel
anything,
that she trusts more.
there's a lot more trust involved because she knows that like it's not just words, it's like there's actions that back it too, because I mean she's a smart kid and she's a big feeler too, and so it's like I mean our relationship, I feel like after like me and Christina getting married has also been better where it's like, you know, and it's just it's really cool to, you know, actually be a stepdad, not just like feel like a stepdad, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so wild because you guys were here a year ago and I think you were just about to move Brayden, like right when we talked.
think
You
we had
just
just
moved.
We had just-
Yeah. But I remember you talking about like, oh my gosh, like having a 7-year-old is crazy. She's asking me all these questions and I don't know what to say. And like, how has that changed? Like, do you feel just like less deer in headlight, more deer in headlight a year later?
I don't think deer in the headlights ever leaves as a parent because like there's new situations that pop up. You're like, what the heck is going on? You know what I mean? Like you're just like.
But now we get to look at each other and think that together, like what?
And if anything, I think that's kind of been more what's ironed out is like mine and Christina's like, you know, teamwork in regards to that, where it's like, I mean, we were trying to figure out the teamwork before where it's like, okay, now I'm coming in this role. I've never done this role. Like, what is my role?
I'm less of a bridge between them now.
Yeah, it's more like we're able to just be all just like, you know,
a team.
Yeah, it's all of us are a team. I mean, and we all have our roles and it's super neat because it's like, you know, I mean, just last night we were going to bed and I was just like, I love you guys. Love you, family. And it was like, it was so cool because we are family and it feels good because there's a unification and like that connection that's like, that's now there.
Well, I will say
even beyond what was there before.
She says things sometimes and I'm just like, wow, like for Christmas, she got a phone, which is crazy.
Okay.
There's lots of like rules.
There's lots of rules. I'm like, I have an app that like,
but like wild.
If any text messages where she says something like anything on there that's bad,
crazy.
it'll notify us. But she needed a phone because a lot of
just
times
internet or anything like that. Real restricted phone, but she has it. The point is like she like that's like the crazy, like the best thing she could have ever gotten in her eyes. So she said to me that afterwards, she was like, well, it's really amazing that I have a phone now, and like that's such a good gift, but I got something even better. And she's like, a family. And I was like, okay, like
I would be bawling my eyes
Yeah.
out.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't mean that. You don't
Yeah.
mean that. You're just saying that.
Yeah.
The
So,
phone's better.
she's feeling happy about it.
So Valentine's Day is coming up. You
Guacamole free.
Qdoba Rewards members only. Log in.
determine airport in one.
Zyn is the only nicotine pouch. Contains nicotine. Nicotine.
From Pandora Jewelry. Let your heart guide you to the perfect Pandora.net. So, what is does she call you Brayden, or is there
Yeah.
like a nickname?
Brayden.
She'll call me Braydad
Brayden.
sometimes, but a lot of times
Brayden.
it's funny because it's like her and then also her little cousin, like they'll be in the house and it's like when they're in the house together, they're like, hey Brayden, hey Brayden, hey Brayden, hey Brayden. And it's kind of a joke between all the adults because like they'll just say my name over and over and over again until they get my attention with stuff. And it's like I get to sit down for like 5 seconds before they say my name and I'm like, what?
Wow. Is it like, okay, so have you talked about family down the line? I'm only asking because when we got married at the courthouse, so it was kind of giving like shotgun wedding, and we got a lot of questions on if we were pregnant, which we were not. Have you gotten those questions yet?
That has been an ongoing thing that's in my life that has followed me around of like, oh, she's pregnant, she's pregnant, she's pregnant.
And
Oh,
granted,
really?
Well,
Why?
it started
And I'm not.
because we posted like a thing where we were pouring out all the alcohol in the house, and so it was like that's
That's
kind of
not where it started. It was, I mean, it was from our engagement photos. It was like from when I was on the show. And my whole thing is like, I, have a body that like sometimes I am bloated and
No,
like
I
literally
get
that's
it
why.
too.
Like I'm not just saying that like all the comments are like, well, she's like definitely looks like it. And then other people are like, oh, well, I don't know.
It's actually no, it's wild. Like I have posted photos of me from like weddings and stuff, and like I'll get comments being like, "I see a bump," and I'm like, "That's
Right,
actually
no,
cheaper."
all of
But thank
the-
you. I
1000%.
What do
So
people think when they say that kind of stuff? It's like I
I
see a
know.
bump. Like,
know.
think it would be the first
I
one to
really-
like realize it and then have like receipts of like, see, I knew or something.
Yeah,
but like,
even if I noticed a bump, I wouldn't say it. I
That's
wouldn't
smart.
comment
Never
it.
say
Smart.
it.
smart.
no, you were raised well, Joe. I just
And
like
it's like
I
you're right. You
don't-
do see a bump. Like I'm bloated. I
someone
just
is
had
pregnant,
lunch.
like,
Like
9
what do you
months
want-
pregnant, I won't say it because I'm like,
No,
no, it's
same.
it's a cyst. I don't know. Like, I don't
When
want to offend
I-
anyone. And like,
My
she's gonna-
parents, when I was younger, I remember they had friends over and the woman was like clearly about to pop. Like she was like wearing a tight outfit. She was fully pregnant. But my parents had ingrained in me so much, like you don't ever ask that.
Yep.
I like tapped my mom. I was like, "Mom, is she pregnant?" And like they were laughing. They're like, "My daughter just asked me if you're pregnant." And they're like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
no,
we're very obviously." I
exactly.
was like, they were like, "But good job. Like you don't ever ask that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a similar experience except kind of different. I was I forget where I think I was at Disneyland and we were in line and I was about like 5 or 6 years old and I remember sitting there and I was like, Mom, is she pregnant? And she wasn't pregnant. And I remember just the backlash my mom gave me, like, Brayden Matthew Bowers, like you don't say that kind of stuff. I'm like, Mom, I didn't know.
well, I mean, look, there's the thing. Yeah.
So
Just
that
never.
now I know don't ask. But that was when I was a child. There are adults that are asking people.
No,
Like,
yeah.
that's what blows
And
me.
I saw someone on Instagram recently. We're getting off topic, but they were like, I think it's really nice that like people ask that. Like even if they're not, like it just means that they hope you are. And I was like, okay.
No, that's not. That's
But then
not what
also,
that means.
That's
like,
not
what if-
quite it.
It's just
But
yeah.
also if they're
So
like there's just you just don't
That
know.
Yeah,
person's
no,
worse.
so
That
I-
person's worse than the commenter.
oh, and that's the thing. The people will be defending too, and like someone's like, "Oh, she's pregnant," and then someone's like, "You don't know that," like never, and trying to defend me, like you shouldn't say that to someone. Like maybe she just enjoys like having lots of food at Christmas time. I'm like, thank you. I don't know if you're helping right now. And so, anyways, I've made many different videos of like, "Hey, y'all, not pregnant," because there'll be articles and everything too. So
Yeah, there was an
with the-
article. I was like, I didn't
many-
believe her because I was like, I got off work and I was like, why do you post this video about you not being pregnant? And she's like, because there was an article today. I'm like, an article on you potentially being pregnant? You're lying. And
Yes.
she's like, no, for real. And she pulls it up and
It's-
shows it to me. And it was like someone had sent it to her. There was an article of like, someone saying, are you pregnant? And they were asking her, is this true? And I was like, what the heck? Like people are actually like saying this kind of stuff?
And I guess I've noticed now with my posture, like from the side, I think I like stick my stomach or like hold it like where my hands in the back of my lower back or something. I don't know. But regardless, like because even in the engagement, people are like, "Oh, I saw a bump. That's why they got engaged." I'm like, okay. Anywho, with your question, I accept it. It's so polite the way you worded it. So nice. Great job with the wording. Kids. He is excited about kids.
I mean,
Like every single day, you're like,
well,
I want a baby.
well, her sister's having a baby soon, and
Like,
it's
any minute.
and we're all, I mean, it's exciting. And I was sitting there, I was like, we should have another. And because also I'm thinking timeline wise, like we have Blakely
Yeah.
is eight now. And so if we wait too long, they're going to have such an age gap that they're not going to like friends, you know what I'm saying? And then if they have too big of an age gap, then we're going to be parents into our like 50s. And so it's like, my thing is, 50s isn't bad, but like 60s. But and so I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, maybe next year, maybe we'll plan for next year. We could talk about it, put it out there in the talks.
Which
So,
I will say that's what's changed with Blakely too. At first, she's just like, just don't ever, like that was what her fear with him even being involved. Like, don't have a baby. And
she didn't want a sibling.
Right, because well, I mean, with her, as far as like how she knows, it's like you get married and then you can have a baby. That is like the extent that she knows. So she's like, oh, if you're gonna get married, you're gonna have a baby. And so I'm like, that if that happens, that's forever away. Like we get to decide. She's like, oh, you do? I'm like, we'll talk about that way later too. But now she's like, do we get a sibling? Like, I want a sister. Like, I want this. So
What do you think that like change in her was, going from not wanting you guys to have a baby to wanting you to have a baby?
I would say the family dynamic. I would say like, I think that because we have a family dynamic now, that's like a lot more. I mean, we sit down, we have game nights, we do a lot of things together. It's not just like, there's not like,
we've got like
it's
established a routine now, and like it's just stable.
Right.
so it feels a little,
Nice.
I think that in a kid's head, if you have a sibling, you're worried like, oh, that's going to take attention away from me, or that's going to
1000% was
take
her
away time
concern.
that I'm going to have. But when you see a family dynamic where you have additional people being added and yet no time is really being taken away, in fact, like more quality time is being spent together, I think that kind of makes her more excited, or makes her more comfortable with the idea of it.
And she loves kids and babies too. Even tonight's my sister's birthday and we're having a game night, and last night we were over at my mom's where the game night will be, and she's setting up, she bought all these like toys, and there's a tent set up. She's like, I'm going to read them this book, and I'm going to have this game and this game. And then, there's like 5 kids all under the age of 5. And so she's just like, I'm so excited.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's so nice.
Anywho,
So-
yeah, not pregnant right now.
Not pregnant, but looking into the near future, are you guys planning on
feel like-
celebrating with friends, or what happened?
Maybe in like a year. I was saying not this year, not like near
Oh.
future. So no more articles this year, please, about pregnancy.
Yeah, leave Christina alone, please. Okay.
Okay, so you're married now. Do you plan on having a party with friends, celebrating anytime soon, and honeymoon talks?
Yes. So we've been talking about wanting to do a big engagement party in December,
Or
probably
wedding
on the
party. Wedding
1 year anniversary. Yeah, like a wedding party. What did I say?
Engagement.
Oh,
Engagement.
Why I keep saying engagement?
We're married.
I know we're married. I forgot. I didn't forget.
It's okay. I used to forget all the time.
Anyways, so yeah, we're thinking about in December, probably we're going to throw a big old party, invite a bunch of friends and family into town, or maybe go somewhere else and have a location. We've also thought about doing like trips together, like and bringing everyone on a trip together and doing something like that. As far as honeymoons, we have been talking about a little bit about places we'd want to go together. Costa Rica is on that list for me of somewhere I'd want to go.
Highly recommend.
I love surfing, but I think I'd be worried because if
Yeah,
I was in Costa Rica, she might not see a lot of me because I'd be surfing a lot. So maybe not Costa Rica, maybe somewhere where there's no surf, so that way I'm not tempted to go and surf.
We surfed for the first time.
Yeah, we took surf
Wait, you
lessons.
did?
We did. Yeah.
I've never attempted
Maybe
it.
maybe we'll go surfing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
I really enjoyed it. Like I thought I was gonna hate it, and I thought I was gonna be terrible.
Yeah,
and
he didn't want to do it originally, and then he was like, I'll do one, and if I don't like it, like I'm just gonna stop. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like no pressure, just like test it out. And he loved it. We ended up doing a second lesson. And they say Tamarindo which is where we stayed in Costa Rica, a great area for surfing, and also has great beaches for beginners, like smaller waves to learn how to surf. We felt like super comfortable. It was amazing.
That's so cool.
Well, maybe we just decided it. Maybe that's
Would Blakely try? There was a lot of like kids and
A
stuff.
lot of
too.
kids, yeah, a
Be on the
lot of
honeymoon.
young kids.
You ain't going on
surfing.
a honeymoon.
That's, yeah,
Oh yeah, that's
true.
true. That's true.
She got the invite for the wedding, but she's cut for the honeymoon.
Christina,
That's
where would
where
you
we
where is your ideal honeymoon?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I've traveled a lot, but always for like a reason. Like while I'm there, like it's not just like leisure. And so to wrap my head around, like whenever you guys just said it, I was kind of in my head, like, what would I even say? I don't know. I enjoy the mountains and the snow, but I think for honeymoon, yeah, need to be more beach vibes, and the beach calls him. So
I do miss the beach, and I'm not a great surfer either. Like guys, I'm not great, but it's something.
Well, I mean, how long have you been surfing for?
Probably about 3 years now, I would say.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
it's
the
been-
highest? Do you know like the highest wave you ever rode?
Anywhere between 12 to 16. So after the boat incident, me and Aaron, no,
This is way
after
better. I mean,
16
we're
foot, so
we're on like
after-
baby
We're on-
boards
we're
with
on-
1 foot waves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, after, and again, it was stupid and we shouldn't have done it, but after the whole boat sinking incident last year, or 2 years ago now,
we're invincible.
we had I mean, we went bull riding. We've like went surfing on one of the biggest day, like people's boards were breaking, and like by the grace of God, I'm not dead from those waves, because those waves were scary. Like I was on the waves and I was like, I really should not be doing this, and I kept doing it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So Valentine's Day is coming up. You know everybody's going to be dining out with their soulmate.
Well, not everybody. I mean, it's hard to find your soulmate.
True, but you know it's easy to find your bowl mate at Qdoba.
I follow you, bowl mate, someone to share your Qdoba with.
That's right, because everybody can get it, but it's only open to rewards to travelers about their vacation.
Still America's #1 choice for smoke-free. Discovers in
Felt message that connects hearts, from best friends to significant other than just a piece of jewelry.
he is a firefighter, so I'm sure he's been pretty preoccupied. He got engaged recently as well.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
from Bachelor Nation.
Yeah, does
yet
anyone know?
about the marriage?
Store or online at pandora.net.
Speaking of Aaron, have you told him about the marriage? Have you told anyone from Bachelor Nation?
Yeah, does
yet
anyone know?
about the marriage?
I haven't gotten to talk to Aaron. I think he's busy with the fires right now. So everything
That's
that's kind of been
totally
going
fair.
on. So he is a firefighter, so I'm sure he's been pretty preoccupied. He got engaged recently as well.
Yeah, big
yeah.
year for both of you.
I know, right?
You
And
should
so
say.
I told James from Bachelor Nation. He was the lawyer on my season. He's a good buddy of mine. He's an amazing dude, and
really cool.
I love him a lot. So I told him, and then that's pretty much
I
it.
didn't-
And then I told,
I didn't tell you, but I did tell Charity and Katie.
did you? Oh wow.
But
know that.
so
She didn't
with
tell me
that
that till
being
just-
said, Dotton probably knows.
Zach probably knows.
Yeah. Everyone
Wow.
probably knows.
That's
but-
wild. I didn't know that. No, that's cool.
Well, we are honored to be part of the
We
first
know now.
few.
Yeah.
You guys
Hey.
know that's the most important thing.
We are
I
very
just
excited.
I love the fact that like you guys did something similar. Like I
I
didn't
didn't
know
realize
that.
that.
That's so cool. Makes me
Yeah,
feel-
we really kept it low key. Like I don't think I have any photos from that day.
I was gonna
The
ask. I want to see this legging outfit and cardigan.
Oh gosh, the only video of it we have, we didn't even think about. I guess yeah, like some of you guys, we didn't even think about photos or videos. But our witness was Natasha Parker, and she picked us up in an Uber. We went to the courthouse, and she like they did like a little ceremony at the courthouse. Like you go in and you stand, and they do the speech and everything. And she last minute was like, "Oh my god, I should take a video of this." So our footage is literally just like an iPhone shot.
Like an 8-year-old took it.
Yeah, well, like she's good. She's like on point with
Yeah, it was
the
good. It was
one
good.
angle. But yeah, thank gosh she thought about it, because it totally slipped our minds. But
Yeah.
it was so special, and we can relate obviously to you guys also in the sense of like we got engaged on the show and it was very public, and there's something so incredible about that experience. But then to have our marriage be the complete opposite, like just completely stripped down and
It's
totally
nice.
private and very intimate and just bare bones, was also incredible.
1,000%. And I mean, here's the thing: we did feel like a little bit guilty, like you asked about the families and things like that. But even just now, like on the comments, and we'll be posting things. It's like, when's the wedding? When's the wedding? Or like even more in depth, people will be like, please also share. Like, thank you for sharing your daily adventures, but can you also please share your wedding? Like, are you gonna broadcast it live? And I'm just like, man, it does kind of hurt, because we love the people that like have been there for us. Like it really does mean a lot to us. We go live quite a bit, and we'll just chat with people and join them on our lives, and really want to hear about like people's lives. Like there's so many everyone has.
That's one thing that's been so cool about the whole thing is it's connected you to so many different people in the world where it's like you can get to meet someone and just talk and chat with like what they're going through in their lives. And it's so much fun. And so like, I mean, I guess there is that level of like, okay, like these people have been, supporting us. And, there is that level of guilt. Like, okay, like, I know you guys wanted to stay up to date. And I guess this is what it is where they'll get to see a bit of it. But again, I think that.
Well, our family wasn't there either.
Yeah.
All right, should we?
People are gonna be so excited for you guys. Like, no matter what form that comes in, how like if it's a month later, 2 months later, whatever, like they're just gonna be happy that you guys are happy and get to see. I feel like marriages and weddings are in a way like a form of self-expression too, and an expression of like the love in the relationship, and just to see how you guys did that and how unique it was to you. I mean, I think it's harder for the families probably than the people that follow along with you guys' journey.
That's definitely where most of my guilt is, for sure.
Yeah, but, we had that as well in different ways too.
You guys dealt with it too.
Well, I mean, I think we ended up having, and this was always the point, we ended up having a full wedding. And I think that moment kind of was like a full circle moment, like we literally 1 year later ended up doing like the walk down the aisle and everything. So I do think your celebration when you have your 1 year anniversary, like the people in your life that love you just want to like shower you with love and celebrate you guys. And when that moment comes, I think it'll feel really like beautiful and full circle for like everyone in your life.
That's what I'm looking forward to big time with that is it's like that just finishing kind of touch on it. You know what I mean? And so, but I'm definitely glad that we did it the way we did it and that we are where we are right now. And so it's exciting.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, very happy for you guys. We're going to play a game, rapid fire, newlywed edition. Yep.
Newlywed. Oh,
Newlywed edition. Don't point because it's a podcast. Make sure you say each other's names. All right, rapid fire. First thing that comes to your head. Who's the better driver?
Me, Christina. Really? Wow.
Especially after this.
Especially today. You were really bad at driving.
Who's more likely to talk their way out of a speeding ticket?
Christina.
She's done it. I've never gotten out of a speeding ticket.
Who's better when it comes to directions?
Brayden.
Who's the best chef?
Brayden.
Who's a pickier eater?
Christina.
Who snores louder?
Christina.
Who's more likely to say something embarrassing in their sleep?
Christina.
Who wakes up first?
Brayden.
Who's most likely to fall asleep during a movie? Brayden.
Christina.
Oh, really?
Wait, a movie?
A movie.
Yeah, a movie.
I just say because I always do.
Hit or miss.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. I would say Christina, though.
Yeah, I'll say Christina.
Who's more likely to max out their credit card?
We talked about this today.
She doesn't have any credit
cards. That's the problem. Brayden. Yeah, by default.
You don't have a credit card?
No, that's why we were talking about it today because we were doing the credit score things and conjoining all the finances and whatnot. And yeah, I need to get credit card.
Honestly, I respect it. Like, I mean, she
kind of like don't ask if people are pregnant. I'm like, don't get a credit card.
Well, and I mean, there's a lot of credit cards.
No debt.
I respect it like a bunch. Like,
but I need to do it.
But I mean, especially if we want to move in the future and stuff like that, and like preparing, like we've been talking about.
Yeah. So by default, Brayden.
Yeah. So
do you guys think you'll stay in Nashville?
We want to keep our place here, but we ultimately want to be in California.
Yeah.
Who's funnier?
We talked about a bunch of different stuff. We've talked about getting an RV and just doing traveling for a year and just like, yeah, I don't know. We're kind of just go with the flow of what happens.
Is that kind of like the next step now that like marriages happened, engagements happened, we've got the party planning, but is the next step figuring out like where you're going to live?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I have to finish, like I said, I'm going back to get more nursing school done. And then once I get that done and I'm moving on and I'm good there, then I'll probably, I don't know. I figured like we can travel or we could do other stuff.
Well, what about Blakely with school?
So, I mean, Tennessee is great. We've been talking about different school options for her too, though, because like she's a very, very smart girl. Like she's the type of kid that like you show her how to do something once and she can remember like how to do it and she knows what to do. And so it's like
if we're on the road, I feel like we could handle homeschooling.
Yeah, we've talked about like homeschooling or like the what is it, the Maserati or Maserati or what's it? There's like a certain type of schooling Montessori.
Oh,
Like
Montessori.
Montessori schooling. So like Montessori. Thank you.
Mozzarella.
Yes, mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
No.
I come
No. But yeah, no. So we talked about like Montessori schools, and like a lot of those ones are like they'll go to like X amount of days and then they'll come off. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Nice. Okay, back to the game. Who's funnier?
Me, Christina.
That's
Who's messier?
Christina.
Who's more dramatic?
Brayden.
I'm definitely more dramatic.
Who's more stubborn?
Brayden.
Who kills the spiders?
Brayden. I mean,
Brayden. Yeah, Brayden.
no, not me. I've never had you kill
We
spiders.
we don't kill this. We love them. They're our house pets. I'm just kidding.
Christina used to
Who's-
collect them.
Yeah.
Who's the best gift giver?
Christina.
Whoa, Brayden.
That's my love language.
Oh.
And who has the better style?
Brayden. He styles me. He picks out my outfits and everything. And it's so great.
Really?
I will say,
So with the gift giving though, he did like surprise me and take me to Ulta today and like was like got me some things that I really needed and I didn't expect that. And it was really that was a great gift.
you guys were very good at that game. That was one of the better ones we've had for sure. I'm actually really impressed.
Thanks. That was we love the games. We're here for some games.
We play a lot of games. Like we have games that are like couple games where whenever a brother-in-law and sister come over, we'll play those with them. And it's like just different questions and we have to answer.
Oh yeah, like the one from like 4 Christmases or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh, I love that scene. Oh, we need to do that sound too.
I hate
Yeah,
that
you
movie.
should.
I hate that movie so
I
much.
I
know.
just watched it
it's
for
like-
the first time on the
I
plane.
love it.
I don't know why I hate it. It's
It's
just
like
something
one of
about
the
it
few
bothers
Christmas
me.
movies we like really don't align on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just what does it make you anxious?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. For some reason, it just doesn't. I don't connect with it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
You guys, thank
Not a
you.
deal breaker.
Thank you so much for coming on Bachelor Happy Hour. We really appreciate it, and we're so happy for the both of you. And we can't wait for your video to drop. If you're listening to this, it's probably dropped already.
Yeah, so go check it out on Bachelor Nation's YouTube channel. And thank you so much for listening. We have Grant's premiere of The Bachelor on the way, and we'll be dropping recaps and interviews with all your soon-to-be faves before you know it.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.